Hello everyone! Welcome! Today, we're diving into a super important concept in science and research, the experimental variable. Understanding this helps you make sense of any experiment. So, what exactly is an experimental variable? Think of an experiment as a test. You want to see if one thing affects another. The experimental variable is the specific thing you change or manipulate in your experiment. It's what you are testing. We also call it the independent variable. It's the cause in a cause and effect relationship. Imagine you want to find out if giving plants more sunlight makes them grow taller. In this example, the amount of sunlight is your experimental variable. You decide to give some plants a lot of sun, and others less. You are controlling and changing the sunlight. That's your experimental variable. Another example, if you're testing whether a new type of fertilizer makes flowers bloom faster, the type of fertilizer is the experimental variable. You will use different types or amounts of fertilizer. You are changing it on purpose. It's the one factor you are actively investigating. It's the core of your test. It's not just anything that changes, it's the specific thing you change on purpose to see what happens. There are other variables too. The dependent variable is what you measure. In our plant example, that would be plant height. Controlled variables are things you keep the same, like the type of plant or the amount of water. But the experimental variable, that independent variable, is your main focus. It's the single factor you are trying to understand the impact of. It's the input you are adjusting to see the output. Why is it important? Because it's the heart of your research question. You are asking, does this, the experimental variable, affect that, the outcome? If you don't clearly identify what you are changing, you can't understand your results. It's what you control to see an effect. Think about testing a new medicine. The medicine itself, or its dosage, would be the experimental variable. You give different groups different amounts of the medicine. You want to see how this change affects their health. The change you introduce is the key. It's the factor you are trying to isolate and study. Keeping it clear and specific is crucial for any good experiment. It allows you to draw clear conclusions. Without a well-defined experimental variable, your experiment won't tell you much. It's the core of scientific inquiry. So, remember, the experimental variable is the one thing you intentionally alter. It's the focus of your investigation. It's the what-if question you are exploring by making a direct change. Thank you for watching and learning about experimental variables. I hope this explanation was clear. If you found this helpful, please consider supporting the channel. Your support helps us create more content like this. We appreciate you being here. See you next time.